Ah, there you are. Greetings, me old sporodactyses, dinkles, and poppy pigs, and how the devil are you? I hope you're well. Life on the canal, so much so. He's lost his head, young man. He's blown his mind. Right, I don't know what's happened to the top of his skull, but somebody's nailed his bloody cap on her, haven't they? Anyway, we're down at Wigan Pier. I've not been down here for a long time. Now, going back over 10 years ago now, I had a meeting with the council about what they had planned for this area. Somebody set a Facebook group up called Save Wigan Pier. And I was part of it. It had nothing to do with me, I hadn't set the group up. But the lad in question, I don't know, he just kept sending daft, random, stupid emails and pissing about on about getting his bins emptied and stuff like that. So they didn't really take him seriously. So I ended up having to take over the campaign slightly. And I came with Wigan Council for a meeting here, and they were saying about all these plans, what they had in mind for this entire area, how it was going to be absolutely fantastic. Here there used to be the old Wigan Pier nightclub. I used to go back in the early 1990s, from the back end of 92 till the back end of 94, going into 95. It was what it was at the time, it served its purpose, but it was a shithole, to be honest, and an eyesore, and it needed flattening. But anyway, they had all these plans for this place, and as you can see, over 10 years on, it's still a shithole round here. They haven't really done anything with it. I do believe they said that building was owned by a private company in Mayfair. I would take you down to Wigan Pier. Go on, we'll go down if it's still there. The infamous Wigan Pier, known all around the world apparently. Obviously for the book written by George Orwell, The Road to Wigan Pier. Wigan Pier is just a couple of scrap bits of metal really. It's an old coal tippler what used to go into the canal here. Rumour has it, I mean there's all kinds of different rumours and that of why it was called Wigan Pier, but rumour has it a boat pulled alongside here one day in the smog and the fog, and somebody on the boat says, "Where are we?" Somebody on this coal tippler here says, "They're at Wigan Pier, love." So yeah, people expected it to be something extravagant and whatnot, when all it is really is just the end of the line for stuff coming out of the mills at the back there. Barges would be waiting here, and they would just tip the bloody thing up and straight in. Looks all dishevelled and overgrown. There used to be a statue of an old woman with a depressed look on her face, and I'm not being funny, but looking at this place round here, I'm not surprised. It is depressing, it's a shithole. I can call it a shithole because I spent the first 40 odd years of my life living here. I've grown up here as a child and obviously into an adult. Yeah, this is the infamous Wigan Pier. Christ knows what's happened to the blooming statue, but it's gone. This is Wigan Pier. It was basically the end of the line for tipping coal and stuff out the mills into. It's like they've built something over there. That was a statue there. Wigan Pier. Used to unload tubs into barges, waiting on cut. Tubs full of coal that will have sorted. A retard work it is. Typical Wigan. Rennie Road. My big face. Oh, there you. So yeah, getting back to it then. As I say, over 10 years ago, council had all these big plans. We're going to make this area into something special. We're going to have cafes on it, a nice garden area and that, and this, that and t'other. And as you can see, it's an absolute bloody eyesore. It really is a shithole. A big face. They did tell me that a private company in Mayfair owned this particular building. This had been run down somewhat rotten. They used to have a cracking museum there when we was kids called The Way We Were. It taught you all about the history of the town, the coal mining, and they had actors playing teachers in an old Victorian school. It was bloody good. and it used to get really busy, but then it just stopped about over 20 years ago. It's never been the same since. All this area to me wants condemning, it's a shithole. Lovely sunset though. So they haven't done anything with it. That used to be the Orwell. People used to have weddings on there, and it used to be a grand pub actually, did the Orwell, but again, that's run down. That's Pier 4, that's Pier 3. I mean, I don't live round here, I haven't lived round here now for 7 years, so maybe there are plans in place to do something with it. It does look like this brickwork has been cleaned up on this particular one, and something's been done with it, but I don't exactly know what. It's a lovely sunset there in the distance. But yeah, over 10 years ago this was meant to be being transformed into a lovely area. Picnic benches, cafes and bars, and it's still a shithole. Looks like they're building something there on one at Thole Mills. It's still an absolute shithole, it really is. I do think this nightclub needed knocking down. Stood here, the old Wigan Pier nightclub. I've had many a good time in there when I was a child, when I was a kid, 17 year old. 17, 18, 19 year old. That was back then in the early 1990s. Things change, don't they? People change. Time changes. It's evolution of life. We move on. Over 10 years ago, I've moved on. 7 years I've not lived in Wigan. I've kind of run out of time tonight, so I've had to pull into Wigan off the motorway. I couldn't get parked up in my usual spot, so I've had to come down towards town centre. It's very rare I get down here these days. Still come down and see my mum and that every now and again. But yeah, nothing's changed. I did have a walk up town before. Hang on, my big face. I did have a walk up town before, and I went to Walgate Chippy and I decided to have a walk into town centre. I think it's absolutely ridiculous what they've done with that galleries. They've flattened out a lot of it, and it wasn't even that old. There was all sorts of a thriving community in there when I was a kid, growing up. Loads of shops and everything. They've built that grand arcade now. There's no in it. It's about 3 or 4 shops and that's it. All the lot's gone. I think it's scandalous, but what can you do? I can't do anything about it. For one, I don't even live in Wigan. It's near to this here now. Hang on, my big face. There used to be, there's always been boats stored in there. I think one was called the Kittiwake, and they used to take you for a ride on canal. You could get a cafe and whatnot, and it almost looks like a sad version of Thomas the Tank Engine now, where that thing gets blocked in, but they've just put a bit of harass fencing up instead. I don't think them boats have moved for a while, because the shit what's corrugated there is yeah, them boats haven't moved for a long time. The old Wigan Pier. My big face. So anyway, why am I doing this video? I've no idea, to be honest. As I say, I'm running short on time. I'm heading for a place up near Blackburn in Lancashire. I've run down. Today's Monday. You're not going to see this video till tomorrow. Today's Monday. I ran out yesterday on Sunday. I ran from Carlisle down to just shy of Plymouth. About 20 minutes off my destination in Plymouth, and I parked on the A38 last night. Load was booked in for 8 o'clock this morning. Got tipped at 8 o'clock this morning, and then I ran empty down to Froome at Mells in Somerset. Got reloaded from a place up the road to the side of Blackburn, Darwin, that sort of thing. You know, where they all talk like Mars bars and car parks and pays. In Blackburn, in Darwin, in Lancashire. Right, Lancashire they are too. Right, I better make sure I don't get run over. So, I've run the clock out basically all day, and I was coming down a bit shy on time, so I decided to pull him off at Wigan. I usually park at another spot in Wigan. I know it sounds like back of my bloody hand, to be honest. And as I say, I'm saying I usually park there. It's very rare I park up here these days. There's a cycle lane here. It's very rare I do park up here these days, but every now and again, when needs must. But I couldn't get in my original spot, so I've had to come down here. And I parked just off town centre, really. Just at the back of this place here at Arnold Clark, inside street. It's all lit up, there's security cameras on. Jobs are good, and so we'll try again in 9 hours. But yeah, I just fancy a walk into town, have a look at what I'm missing. And to be honest, I don't think I am missing anything. Now, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to anybody what's from Wigan, because for most of my life, I've been a Wigan lad. I still am a Wigan lad, you know what I mean? You take the lad out of Wigan, but you can't take Wigan out of the lad. But I just feel that the best thing I could have ever done for myself 7 years ago was leave Wigan for pastures new in Cumbria for a fresh start, and I ended up with a complete fresh start, you know what I mean? And yeah, I've never looked back since. I'll always be from Wigan. I'm not against Wigan people, or Wigan I think it's called, isn't it? As my wife says, why do you say Wigan when it says Wigan on the signs? She says because we're from Wigan and it's belting, isn't it? You know what I mean? Well, no, I'll be honest, just walking up the town before, I think it's a bit of a shithole. It's just full of backward folk mincing about, off the tits on spice and pissed up and marthering each other and marthering other people, begging. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't be doing. But Chippy were alright. Hold on 1 second. Oh, let's get you set up there. We've gone on for a bit. Let's get you set up, lad. Get this set up there. I'll take my shoes off. We don't leave our shoes on in cabs, see? Our boots, we take them off. Oh. Hey, that's better out, lad. So, well, that's just off Mary Lane. And yeah, running shy on time. It is what it is. It's very, 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 very rare I park here around Wigan. But I know the town well enough. My big face, double chin as well, I can't wait on me. That's where we're at. We'll be away at first light tomorrow. And nobody will know any difference. My big face. Now, 1 or 2 people have been on recently asking, Borothea, where are they? You've not done a vlog for ages. Why haven't you done a vlog? There's a lass there just looking at cars, and I'll be honest with you, it's probably best time to come and look at cars now, and there's no bugger in, because there's a night security man on here. But it's best time to come and look at cars when there's no bugger in, because you're not going to get marthered with salesmen. Swiss Tony coming out. Buying a car, love, is like making love to a beautiful woman. That knows, because he's from Swiss Tony from Wigan. But yeah, it's best time to come and have a look at a car, because there's no bugger in, you're not going to get mithered. Anyway, where was we? Yeah, 1 or 2 people have been on recently and said that, Borothea, missed your videos, why have you not been on? I haven't posted a video for a couple of months now, because I'm kind of just enjoying life offline, I really am. I made a conscious decision when I left this place. I'm back here basically. I'm back at place I left a while back. I'm back on flatbeds, and I made a conscious decision when I went to the next north. I went to Dents. Do you know what am I on about? I'm cracking up. I went to Dents, that were it. I left here, I went to Dents on walking floors. I did quite a few driving videos there. And then I went on tippers at Bullman's at Penrith. And I made a conscious decision when I started Bullman's that I wasn't going to do any driving videos. And I always say, if you start a new job, you've got to give it 3 months. Well, I came to like week 10 at Bullman's and I thought, I've had enough of this, I don't want to do it anymore. Nothing against them, they were a lovely family, lovely people, but the job wasn't for me, and I was getting pissed off with sitting around for 6-7 hours at a time at Cargill's at Liverpool on Dock Road. and just waiting to get in and tip, and I wasn't getting paid for it because you only get paid by tips, ends and kilometres, and so you'd sit around for 6-7 hours and probably earn 20 quid, and your wages were dropping down all the time, and it was getting down to below like 700 quid, and I thought, if I start paying pension out of this in a couple of weeks, it'll be, you know, 70 hours worth of work for like 600 odd quid. I thought, nah, not having it. So that's basically why I left there. I was fed up with it. The work was easy enough, although I did make a humongous mistake on my very last day. I went to tip a load of maize and I forgot to put shaking floor on a breech. It wouldn't come out, it wouldn't run. So I had to open tailgate and tip a little bit at a time. I knew what I was doing, all was going well until it come right up, and then last lot just went whoosh, and I couldn't get frigging thingy down in time. The about between 8 and 10 ton just went straight in and breached off. Oh, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. I went in asking for help and they wouldn't help me. You better get a shovel and start shoveling. Luckily, there were 2 drivers behind me what was waiting to get in and tip, and they jumped on and we dug an hole between us, put the shaking floor on, and we got it moving and cleaned it up, and it went. So I thought, last day. But yeah, I made a conscious decision then that I wasn't going to be doing any more driving videos for a while, and I'll be honest with you, I've kind of enjoyed not doing. So that was probably about, I don't know, 5 months ago, because I left there and I've come back here, and I've been back here for a couple of months now. So it's probably about 5 months ago I haven't done any driving videos and that, and honestly, I'm really not missing it. I'm really not. I'm kind of enjoying life now offline. I've come off Facebook. Facebook was getting on my bloody nerves. I'm sick of seeing shite on Facebook and confrontation and then ads and stupid fake news and crap. You know, Facebook used to be good at one point, but it's just gone, I think it's just gone absolutely terrible, and I'm just sick to death of it, you know what I mean? And I just think, what was my life like before I went on social media? And I thought it was a lot more simpler. So I don't know how long I'm going to be offline for, but at the moment I'm kind of enjoying not being online, if that makes sense. I know I'm doing this video and I'm contradicting myself, but I really am enjoying just living a normal life offline and just getting on with the job that I get paid to do. I've not fell out with anybody. I've no issues with anybody. I'm pushing 50-year-old. I've no axe to grind or grudges held against anybody anymore. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just enjoying my life offline. But one thing I have noticed and I have learned, I mean, you know, social media in particular, certainly YouTube and that, you know, you change your mind or you change your course or you change direction, and the amount of people what tend to fall out with you because, why are you not doing truck driving videos anymore? I don't like you. I hope you die. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, because I don't want to, I'm not getting paid for it, and it's costing you nothing. Watch it. There was a lad called, I've followed him and watched quite a lot of his videos, Trucker Jenko, a Welsh fella. He's had a few jobs and that, but he's probably been driving a lot longer. He's probably gone more miles in reverse than I'll ever do going forwards. He's probably been driving a long time. But he's changed jobs quite a few times recently. Then he went on doing some European work, and then he decided he's gone back to a certain firm where he's not allowed to vlog. So he put a video up explaining about it a couple of months ago. And the amount of, I read through some comments, the amount of people that were falling out, I hope you die, never like you, load of shit, you're not doing driving videos. Off then. And I thought, you ungrateful bunch of people. You know, what do you want from the man who you don't know? He's a stranger to you. He's just putting his videos out online. And that's kind of social media, you know what I mean, in general. And I've noticed that over the last few years. People are your best friends online on social media. They're posting, and as soon as you put something on they don't like, or you disagree with them on something, or you have a, you know, your opinion's a bit different, Jesus, they can soon turn on you, and you know they can become quite nasty. But that's just online, and it's not real life. But no, I am actually enjoying just doing my own thing offline at the moment. I'm enjoying being back on flatbeds. I really am. I'm getting on with the job. I'm cracking on with it. Somebody else said to me a while back, you've had loads of jobs here, you've had some jobs in the last 5 years, boom, already, he's at it again, he's had another job, he can't stick a job this man, he's fucking TV, must be massive. I've had, I think I've had 4 jobs in the last 5 years. I worked at the Green and White Terminal when I first passed my test. I passed my test on the Friday, started with them on the Monday. I did 4 years at Yankees. I cut my teeth with them. 4 years there, and then I wanted something different. I needed to try something different, and they wouldn't move me on the sheet I was on. So they wouldn't do anything for me and move me. I was a steady Eddie, happy away, and you know, I've always been positive about that company, and I always will be positive about them. But they wouldn't move me, so a job come available on flatbeds where I'm back at, and I thought, well, if I don't do this, I don't want to spend the next 20 odd years just delivering bulk haulage and shit up and down country, opening back doors and pushing a button. I want to try something different. I need to try something different. So I did. I went and I left, and on good terms. Well, I thought it was. And I did 6 months here, or just shy of 6 months, 5.5 months. Well, 6 months in total, 5.5 months, and I put my 2 weeks notice in, and wanted back on walking floors. Now, it's no secret I tried to get back on at Jenkins. I've tried to get back on a couple of times. Absolutely no secret at all. Quite a few people know about it, so I don't bullshit tell lies. They didn't want to know me at the time when I tried to get back on. Didn't want to know me. There was nothing going at all. And then a job did come available, but it was cab hopping. But I did find out that another lad had got taken back on and put straight into a truck and put on a sheet and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, why have you offered him that? I've nothing against this guy. I've never had anything against this guy in particular. I didn't really know him that well. I only met him a few times. But we were on the same sheet when I was there. And I thought, well, why have you offered him that? And then you're telling me I've got a cab op. I'm just as experienced as him. Do you know what I mean? And I've been left less time than he has. He'd been left well over a year. And I think it was the second time he'd been back. So he'd started, left, got something else, started back again, you know what I mean? So he'd been back to us already. So I says, no, I don't fancy cab hopping. I said, I'm not up for it, like, you know what I mean? I'm not up for cab hopping, I don't fancy it. So that was that. Well, if you don't want a cab hop, there's no doing. I said, fair play, there's no doing then. So I went to Dents. I went back on walking floors with Dents, and I really did enjoy being back on walking floors. If I could describe myself in a David Attenborough type of, you know, animalistic documentary, walking floors for me was my natural habitat. You know what I mean? And I really did enjoy it. But I said to him at Dents when I started, I says, don't take piss out, mate, on Fridays. I don't mind occasional Friday nights out and being kept out if it can't be helped. I know how the job works. I said, but I did 4 years at Jenkins, so I know exactly how the job works. Don't take piss out me. I know what I'm doing. I'm a good lad. I'm a good worker. I'll run my hours out, not a problem, but don't take piss. What did he do? He saw it as a personal challenge, and he kept me out. Out the 9 weeks I was there, he kept me out for six of them, 6 Fridays. And I thought, you're taking a fucking piss out me. Wife was getting on my case at home, and I thought, nah. So I did 9 weeks at Dents, and then I put me noticing. I said, I'm aware, I'm going. So all in all, I ended up 11 weeks at Dents, so it was literally just 1 week shy of me 3 month period, because I always say, you know, if you start a new job, you've got to give it 3 months. So again, still thinking there was nothing doing at the Green and White Army. I went on tippers, basically, and I did try and get back in touch with the Green and White Army again before I left the tippers, and they wouldn't entertain me. There was nothing doing. They didn't want to know me, basically. So I said, well, righto then, be seeing you. Now, I will never ever badmouth Jenkins. I will never badmouth them. I will always be very, very grateful to Jenkins for the 4 years experience I got when I first started doing this kind of work, because as most of you know, for years I was a window cleaner. I had a midlife crisis in my 40s, basically, in my early 40s. It turned out to be the best midlife crisis I could have ever had, because I left here, this town, 7 years ago, still as a window cleaner. I was working for a big national company doing banks, building societies, supermarkets and all that. So instead of doing the Greater Manchester round, which I was on, Wigan and Greater Manchester, they just transferred me, the same company, but I just covered Cumbria. Because they was employing people from up there, and they wasn't lasting. They were just coasting till they got a new job. Because our office was in Manchester. Lads up there in Carlisle were just saying, I'll just use this for a few weeks, bit of a stopgap till we get something else. And they couldn't seem to keep hold of anybody in Cumbria. So I went up, basically, and I did it for about a year, didn't I? And then I fired it off. hello. And then I ended up, you know, it was a start, it was a job. I'd already been working for that company for a while, and it was great with me. The window cleaning company was really good, but the money was not the best, and I just went up there for something different. And then I'd always wanted to be a truck driver when I was younger, but life kind of got in the way, so it took 20 odd years to do it, and I got round to doing it. Little acorn, saved up, put myself through my class 2 and that, and then, you know what I mean, passed my test on class 1 and started with Jenkins. So I will always be grateful to Jenkins for the job, and I really did love working for Jenkins. I really did. I loved working for them. And like I said, I just needed to try something different, because I didn't want to spend the next 20 odd years just hauling shite about bulk haulage and just on a walking floor. So I needed to try something different. So I had to leave to try something else. But I loved Jenkins, I did, and I still love the company. I still think, you know what I mean, some of the lads there are fantastic. It's like any big organisation, you know what I mean, you're going to get a few arseholes no matter where you go, but it's a big money-making wheel. I was just a small cog in a wheel, but I loved it. But I needed to try something different. But like I said, they didn't want to know us. For whatever reasons, they didn't want to know us when I approached them a couple of times. There was always an excuse why we can't take you on and that. So I ended up, long story short, I'm going all right my arse here. Christ, this video's going on for nearly half an hour already. I ended up coming back because the tippers just wasn't working out for me. I gave it a go. I gave it a go. I gave it the 3 months, like. In fact, it's not for me. Do you know what I mean? So you can't stay at something if you don't want to do it. Happy as a pig in shit on walking floors, my natural habitat. But I needed to try something different. So, yeah, all in all, Jenkins here, Dents, Bullman's, back here. I've had, well, you can call Dents and Jenkins pretty much same company. So 1, 2, 3. I've had 3 jobs in the last 5 years, basically. This is the second time I've been here. I've come here last year, left, and I've come back. And I'm really enjoying it back here now. I'm really enjoying being on flats again. I don't mind it at all. I've got used to the DAF. I'm in a 72 plate DAF. It's my own truck. There's no cab hopping. I don't own it. It's not my name on the door, but it's my full-time allocated one. So, anyway, there's a point to this. Yeah, I've had 3 jobs, basically, in the last 5 years. I think I went through that phase. I did the first 4 years, and then I needed to try something different, and then, do you know what I mean, and then I've changed jobs a couple of times in the last 12 months, but I've come back to original one I left Jenkins for. But lo and behold, I got a phone call on Friday out of the blue, off somebody at the Green and White Army. Hello, it's such a, so all right, how are we doing? Yeah, you're still looking for a job? I said, well, no, I'm not actually. All right, why? I thought you wanted back with us. I said, well, I did a couple of months ago, but you didn't want to know me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna dance to your tune now, am I? Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna jump up and dance and beg and roll over for you now. I said, no, I'm steady away where I'm at. I'm happy where I'm at. I really am. All right, well. So I thought, well, no, I said, I'm not falling out. I said, but I came back to you. I left just a year ago now. I said, on what I thought was good terms. I said, I was going to come back the first time, but you wanted me to cab up. Why should I cab up when I've got my own truck? Full-time allocated truck, and then you've given somebody else a slot on a sheet with his own truck, leapfrogged him above the cab hoppers. I said, why should I do that? You can't have one rule for one and one rule for another. So that's why I turned that down the first time. And then ever since I've been back to you since, you didn't want to know me. So I'm not going to sit around and wait for you. You know what I mean? I said, no, I've moved on now. All the best to you, but I've moved on. And thanks very much for ringing, but no, I'm not interested, you know what I mean? So there's nothing smug about it, there really isn't. And I really haven't fell out with anybody. I love the company and I loved the job. But I've got back on here and I'm as happy as a pig in shit here, and I'm not messing these guys about because they've took me back on. So no, I'm steady away here. I really am. But anyway, we've rambled on now about nothingness in particular, haven't we, for the last bloody half an hour? But I just thought I'd do this video whilst I'm in Wigan. And, yeah, I don't know. Thoughts on life. I'm happy. I really am happy. I'm enjoying life at the moment offline, just doing my own thing. I'm back in a daff. back on flatbeds for the same company I left Yankees for. And I really am enjoying it. I'm getting on well with it. I kind of know what I'm doing. Every day is still a school day. Of course it is, don't get me wrong. But if in doubt, I just take my time and I put more straps on. Do you know what I mean? You can never have enough straps on these things. But I always try and get out and check a few times when I've gone down the road. I've got some great big 12-metre concrete pipes on for a building site up at Lancashire in the morning. So I always try and get out and check my straps, make sure they're all right and this, that and t'other. And yeah, I'm happy. So, if you are missing me, I'm really sorry, but, you know, I'm just enjoying life offline, and I'm enjoying being off Facebook as well at the moment, because, like I said before, like I alluded to, everything now is just shithousing, it really is. I mean, I used to do videos, on YouTube and Facebook. I had a page called Average Joe in Cumbria. I used to do fell walking videos, and I used to sometimes put a lot of effort into these videos and film camera, different angles and different this, and edit it all together. And I just put my teeth back in. There you go. And I'd spend a few hours editing and all that. And it could get like a few hundred views. I mean, I've never been in it for views and likes and attention, but if I put something on like controversial, or I'd filmed somebody fighting and arguing in the street, it used to get thousands of views. You know, I put a video on last year of me, some dickheads on a building site, giving us grief. And I put it on and I gave me thoughts on it and that. I didn't think anything had come of it. But within about 4 days, it had 500,000 views. It had over 500,000 views on YouTube. I wish I'd have monetized it and I made a frigging fortune off it. But I took it off. But it just shows you that shit sells, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Everybody wants fighting and confrontation and that. Nobody's interested in anything else. And I think it really is a sad state of affairs that we're living in today, when all anybody's interested in is fighting. You know, fighting online and kicking off and ridiculing folk, filming people at the worst and lowest points in their life. It's like a public form of badger baiting, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But right, I've waffled on for far too long. I'm not going to post this till tomorrow. You'll probably see this tomorrow. But I don't park in Wigan that often. But tonight I was running out of time. I'm coming up the M6 and I thought I'll pull it off at junction 25. There's a couple of spots I usually park up there if I'm in Wigan, which is very rare. But they were all busy, so I thought I'll just roll it down here and get it on this estate. And anyway, I've come down here. There's quite a few spots you can park on this estate. But luckily, I just got this thing right out in town centre. So I had a walk in town before. Tomorrow, nice wide swing. Up there, down there, back round through town centre till the way, and I'll get back on at 26 at Orrell and we'll crack on. Yeah, so I've been your old mate Borothea once again. You, my friend, have been beautiful. I'm never saying never. I may come back on. I don't know. I don't know when. We'll meet again, my big face. I don't know when, but I know we'll meet again. It'll probably be pissing down. Hey, Maureen. So yeah, I may come back on. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just taking life as it comes. I'm enjoying my life, living my life offline. I'm still enjoying the job. Back on flatbeds. I'm enjoying it and I'm cracking on. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I've never claimed to be everybody's cup of tea. There's always somebody what's not going to like you. But such is life. I think once you reach an age at times when you just start caring about what people think, you just think, well, I'm just going to live life for me. Little old me. I'll see you later. You look after yourself. Ta-ra.